The Extra Booster Memorial Collection over the last 6 months has more than doubled in value. That's insane! Alrighty, let's start with the OG Romance Dawn Blue Bottom Booster Box. By far, obviously, the most expensive booster box on this list. Hasn't performed that well over the last 3 months. 12% growth. Now around $1,100 for this Blue Bottom Booster Box. Obviously, the Blue Bottoms are a lot more sought after. We all know that. And again, they're the most expensive booster box you can get from One Piece at the moment. We'll see what happens over the next few years. But if we look at view more data here for the Blue Bottoms, view more data. 1,099, 1,150. What does that say? Romance Dawn Blue Bottom Booster Box with original sticker partially removed. Okay, 1,150, 1,100, 1,050, 1,100. Consistently around $1,100. So TCG Player says 1,129. That's pretty spot on. In its defense, even though the last 3 months hasn't been great, if we look at the last 12 months, this thing's obviously been on a tear, 126%. There's going to be months where there's less growth. You know, it's going to maybe start to hit a ceiling where it becomes more unaffordable for people, and maybe the price growth slows down sort of slightly, I guess you could say. But 3 months is still not too bad, 12%. You'd struggle to get that sometimes with some of your stocks in the share market. But anyway, nonetheless, let's move on. We're going to go through every single One Piece booster box released. Okay, here's the white bottoms, the less sought after of the OG of the Romance Dawn. This one's actually up 40% in 3 months. So yeah, I guess that's just an affordability thing. Look, not everyone can spend $1,100 on a blue bottom booster box. The white bottoms, $375. If we look at view more data, yeah, consistently $375, $375, $373. Yep, that's it. Pretty spot on from TCG Player. Once again, it was $388, sort of late January. You know, about what 6-7 weeks ago. And $375. It hasn't really fallen off much over the last month. Let's look. It's pretty flat on the month. Over the last year, the white bottoms. Well, it doesn't show me the whole year. I don't know why, but it says it's up 72%. Nonetheless, 6 months. Let's look at the 6 months. 91% growth. 91% growth in 6 months. This thing's almost doubled in 6 months, and again on the 3 months, it's up 40%. The white bottom's actually doing really well. I don't know if that's some white privilege shit right there, but that's I probably shouldn't say that, but that's that, you know, political joke. That's the white bottoms. Here's Paramount War, 31% growth in 3 months. Really good actually for Paramount War. I don't really rate this set too highly. You could argue that all the One Piece sets are worth grabbing. I'm a bit more fussy about which ones I pick up. I just wasn't too interested in investing in this one, but anyway, it's up 31%. It's $180 now, $182. If we look at view more data, 190, 194, 180, 190, 172. Paramount War doing really well. Let's look at the year. Down 47% on the year. You can see it had a high here of, geez, god damn, basically $400 back in May last year. Whoa, that's a huge drop. I had no idea. Almost halved in 1 year. 9% growth in 6 months. The spike's really only been recently. So again, 6 months it's up 31%, but it's had a really bad run up until sort of 3 months ago. I'm not making any recommendations about this one to go out and pick it up. I'm not going to say it's going to keep growing in value. It probably will. It looks like it's corrected. I'm personally not interested in Paramount War. If you own it, great. I hope it continues to go up in price again, and I hope you didn't pay too much back in May last year when it was almost $400. Moving on, Pillars of Strength also up 30% over the last 3 months. This booster box, what did I say Paramount War was? 182. Pillars of Strength, 182. Same price and very similar growth. Pillars of Strength and Paramount War basically mirroring each other on the growth spectrum. Look at the view more data here. 198, 177, 231. Someone paid $230 for this. They bought 4 of them for $230. 175, 160, 160, 200. Wow, that's bouncing around a bit between 160 and 200. But yeah, 182 according to TCG Player. 30% growth in 3 months. Down 32% over the year. Up 9% in the 6 months. And we can see a similar pattern where over the last 3 months, Pillars of Strength has started to correct, and he's doing really well over the last 3 months, though it has had a pretty hard run, over the last 12 months. Very similar to Paramount War. Identical pattern to Paramount War. Again, Pillars of Strength, I'm not too interested in. I won't be investing in Pillars of Strength. I mean, you could go and buy this today. Maybe you'd make money long term. I'm not saying you will or you won't. This is not, any kind of financial advice. I'll give my opinion. There's only a few sets from One Piece I'm really keen on, but I'll mention them as we go. So it's doing okay again now. Kingdoms of Intrigue. Not to be a negative Nelly, but another one I don't really care about. But this is up 14% in 3 months. Over the last year, down 8%. 6 months, down 6%. Yeah, it looks like some recent... Let's look on the 1 month. Look at that. What a roller coaster ride. 147, 150, 145, 150. We had a high here of 158 in January, like a recent high, rather. Yeah, it says it's up 14% in 3 months, but it still hasn't gone back to that high here it had in January of almost 160. Floating around 150 now. If we look at view more data, 156, 156, 164. Consistently around 160, guys. 150 to 160. It doesn't tickle my balls, I don't like this set. I really don't like this set. Kingdoms of Intrigue, it looks like it's correcting. I don't know if it's going to be a short-lived correction. I don't know if it's going to continue to grow. I really don't know. I just don't rate it. I'd rather invest in the stronger sets, and just I think long-term the stronger sets have a better chance of killing it. That's Kingdoms of Intrigue, another lackluster set in my opinion. Don't get offended if you own these, guys. It's just my opinion. I might be dead wrong. I don't think I'm dead wrong, but you can be the critics. Awakening of the New Era. This is one of my preferred investments. I do love this as a booster box investment. The chase cards in this, while they've had a rough ride, are still quite strong. There's some really expensive chase cards in this set, and I think that's worth having the booster box on the shelf as an investment. In saying that, it's only up 14% in 3 months. It's not the best grower on this list. It's one of the worst growers over the last 3 months, right? Over the last year, down 29%. Over the last 6 months, up 16%. And over the last 3 months, up 14%. 6% on the month. But 14%, this is not one of the best performers on this list. So when I say I like to invest in the strongest sets and I consider this one of the strongest sets, it doesn't mean that in the short term I'm going to be correct from an investment perspective. I think long term I'll be correct, and I'd rather spend my money on... it's just common sense for me. I'd rather spend my money on the sets that really do have good carrots inside them, good chase cards, big expensive chase cards. I think some of the chase cards having a rough ride over the last sort of year or so has really probably affected the booster box price a little bit, but I think it would do well still long term. It's got good cards in it. Wings of the Captain, I do like this one as an investment, so we're starting to get into some of the ones I do like now. Up 25% in 3 months. Over the last year, down 34%. Basically, 49, call it 50% growth in 6 months and 25% in 3 months. $140 now for this booster box. I do rate Wings of the Captain. I think at this price, it's still a good pickup. That's my opinion. Don't go and buy it because I said that. Do your own research. Buy what suits you and what you can afford. Don't buy something because you watched a YouTube video. I personally think for myself, I would like to continue to invest in this. I like this as a set, okay? As a booster box investment. That's my opinion. Wings of the Captain, yeah. Not much more to say about that. It's really doing well over the last 3 to 6 months. I'm glad I own it. EB01. Sounds like a droid, doesn't it? EB01. 56% growth in 3 months. It's got that Tony chopper there. The chase card in this set's really nice. If you look at view more data, 338. Consistently between 330 and 340. It does say 313 here on TCG Player, but you can see those recent sales are close to 340 now. Really climbing, 56% growth in 3 months. Over the last 6 months, it's more than doubled, 115%, guys. 115%. I'll be honest, when I bought this set, when I bought this booster box a while back, I did it kind of, how can I say it? Kind of just on a whim, I guess you could say. I didn't think it was necessarily a strong set. I hadn't done much research on it at the time, and I just picked it up because I thought it was cool, just to have one. And I was actually kind of regretful at the start. I thought I'd bought one that was a bit of a weaker set, and I wasn't too thrilled about it. I thought it was maybe a bit of a lackluster set that I had invested in. But this one is just one of those sets that's just defying the odds. That Tony Chopper is really cool. People do tend to love it. The booster box has done way better than what I would have even anticipated. 115% growth in 6 months. Hey, so I'm thrilled about that because, I mean, I do have this. I don't have much of it, but I do have it. So, yeah, that's really cool. EB1 killing it. And if we look at the 3 months, yeah, 56% growth, guys. This is one of the strongest performers, if not the strongest performers on this list over the last 3 months. Here's PRB1, PRB01, 54% growth in 3 months. Very similar to EB1. This is obviously a reprint set. It's got a lot of strong manga cards in this. Very expensive chase cards in this. It's an absolute awesome box. Premium booster. And believe me, this is a premium booster box. I love this set. I actually don't own any yet. I know. I've left it a little bit late in the run, but I still think it's a good pickup. I'll be looking to try and get this soon. There is just so much I need to buy in the way of Pokemon and One Piece that sometimes these things get away from me. You know, I don't get a chance to buy everything in time. But anyway, that's PRB01, 54% growth in 3 months. It's done really well since its inception, and it's continuing to perform. Over the last month, only 6%, but again, 54% in 3 months. If we look at View More Data, 222, 220, 234, 222, 234, 258 down there. Consistently around 230, guys. If you can afford to and you are a One Piece investor, this one has to be in your collection. Again, I'm not telling you what to do. I just think it's a must for every One Piece collector. This set is extraordinary. It's done really well. This set and EB1, PRB1 and EB1 are the best performers on this list, I'm pretty sure. 11% growth for 500 years in the future. Another one I'm not too interested in, guys. If you own it, great. Congratulations. Enjoy the investment or the collect side of it. It's just not one for me. I don't buy every set that comes out in Pokemon or One Piece. I'm very selective, and this doesn't make the cut for me. 11% growth in 3 months, however. If you look on the 6 months, 34% growth. It's done really well over the last 6 months as an investment. So don't let me tell you how to suck eggs. Do what suits you guys. The numbers are telling you it's doing quite well. I still don't really like this set. But there you go, 34% growth in 6 months. Killing it. Over the last month, it's dropped a little bit, 2%. That graph looks a lot worse than it is. A 2% drop is nothing. But yeah, 11% in 3 months and 34% this box over 6 months. And this box will cost you $113, $115 US. Two Legends. Now, this is up 25% in 3 months. A fairly new set. Not the newest, obviously, but fairly new. 25% growth in 3 months, guys. This booster box is $91 US. If we look at View More Data here, 92, 92, 93, 93. It's basically a $90 booster box. Now, I think this one is worth picking up. I don't think it's the strongest set, which kind of goes against my philosophy. So why am I saying I think it's a decent pickup? It's just so cheap. Like a $90 One Piece booster box. I mean, put it on the shelf, forget about it for a few years. I think there's way more upside than there is downside, just because it's already so cheap still. Will it go to $80? Maybe not. But like, it might go down $10. It might go up hundreds over the next years, and it may stay flat for years. Who knows? But there's so little downside. Like, I'd be just picking it up at that price, honestly. And 25% growth in 3 months. It's performing, though it's not the strongest set. It's performing, and probably arguably the best set so far. Arguably, I would say it probably is the best set so far, in my opinion. Just because the chase cards in this are crazy. You've got that Gold D Roger, that gold. What is it? Secret rare. The secret rare. I'm getting mixed up between Pokemon and One Piece now. But that gold secret rare, Gold D Roger, that card is worth a fortune. I think it's come off a little bit since its inception, but still such a huge chase card. There are so many mangas in this set. The booster box is currently 167. If we look at View More Data, yeah, 167, 165. Pretty consistent, guys. 165, 166. It's up 31% in 3 months, guys. If I look forward in 2 years, 3 years, and One Piece booster box investing is still, a decent thing to be doing. We'll monitor it as time goes on. But if it is still quite stable, this is like the set you gotta own. You know, I don't see this being under $200, you know, in 12 months' time. I just don't. And all my local gaming stores, I mean, from where I've been looking, they're mostly sold out. It's already pretty much going to the secondary market now for this product, for the most part. It's just very popular. It's a strong set. It's up 31% in 3 months. And OP9 is insane. I don't have enough of this yet, and I'm still accumulating more as we go in the coming weeks. Hopefully I can keep catching it before the price takes off, because I think it will. And just there's all the booster boxes, how they've been performing over the last 3, 6, 12 months, etc. You see PRB1, EB1 doing the best over the last 3 months, both up more than 50%. OP9 I think is probably the strongest set on this list. That's my opinion, guys. I might be wrong. Here's Royal Bloodlines. This has just dropped the 21st of March. Depending on when you're watching this video, it might be a day old, but it's pretty much the most brand new set on this list. We've got no data to really go on. There's no history. That's Royal Bloodlines. I'm not going to talk too much about it today, but that's just dropped. Let me know what you think of Royal Bloodlines in the comments, guys, or Royal Blood, whatever you want to call it. Let me know what you think of this list and which ones are your favorite. That's just a basic market update, just a basic market watch. Maybe a little bit boring, but just keeping you guys in the loop of how these booster boxes are performing. If you've got these sitting in your collection, sitting on the shelf, and you're keen to see how they're doing, that's how they're doing. Thanks for watching the Chase Card, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.